All right, let's talk about compliant language. Now, compliant language is a phrase in particular industries where if you are a company that is being regulated by third-party organizations and your language needs to be, by the way, even advertisements themselves have to contain compliant language. You can't make claims that presuppose the result that you think that the prospect will receive in the actual advertisement or in the sales call or in the meeting. Now, certain industries are more regulated than other industries. So in the medical space, it is highly regulated. You have to be very careful with the types of words that you're using and how you say different things. That, for example, you can't say medical technology stem cells, right? That's one of the offers that I close on. You can say that you can expect reasonably this result. You could say, other patients in similar conditions have experienced results XYZ. You see the distinction there. Now, the good news about this whole thing is that, first of all, it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you honest, right? You can't make claims that are not true. And more accurately, you cannot make claims that discuss a specific result of an individual because, as they say, and as you know, results may vary, right? We've all heard that phrase before, results may vary. And it is true, right? That's why they have the disclaimer in advertisements and even old advertisements from the 80s and even before that. Results may vary. So instead of saying results may vary, you have to be a little bit more eloquent with the way you describe the fact that results will vary, which means, as an example, oh, will I achieve this thing? The prospect is asking you, will I get this thing? We'll say, well, listen, I'll tell you this. If you do this and you put in this work and you take this action, you take this action, what we've seen is that the reasonable expectations from our previous clients is that they've been able to achieve XYZ, as opposed to, yeah, if you do it, you can definitely get it. Or yeah, absolutely, you're definitely going to get this. Now, if you're providing a physical, if they're saying, are you going to, if there's a straight answer, if it's a straight question, you give them a straight answer. Like, when am I going to receive this? Oh, you're going to receive it in 3 to 5 days, or you'll receive it in 24 hours. If there are any issues, contact me. Now, you can make direct statements, but as far as any statements that you make in association with the results that that you believe that you can get that prospect and that you've gotten prospects in the past, whatever that result happens to be, whether it's a product, something physical that they receive, or some kind of result that they obtain, whether it's tangible or intangible, you have to frame it properly so that you don't mislead them into thinking that they are definitely going to achieve this thing, unless they definitely are. Unless you're saying, do you have $200? If you give me $200, I will give you this phone. Now, this phone is worth more than $200, but the point here is that unless you can 100% guarantee the results, then you can't make a claim that is definitive. You can't make a definitive claim for that person. The best you can say is that, hey, listen, if you have a guarantee in place or a satisfaction policy, you can say, if you don't experience XYZ, we have the satisfaction policy, which indicates that you can take all your money back or half your money back, or we'll do another treatment, or you'll get this bonus, or whatever the case is. So you can make that statement, but you have to be very careful with the types of words that you're using, because it's not just about massaging everything and bullshitting them and then saying all that stuff at the end. Hey, we just have this guarantee, because you've already framed the conversation in such a way where they believe that they're actually going to achieve the result, because when you're confident, when you have conviction, as they say, it doesn't mean that you have conviction and you're misleading somebody. It means that you believe in your product, but you can't make claims. You can't make claims about the result, or rather, you should not make claims about the result that have no bearing on the individual prospect's unique situation. So you have to take that into consideration. So you can say, if you do all of these things, or if you undergo this procedure. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You see, you even have to be careful with the language, right? Which is that our clients or our prospects, our patients, whatever, not prospect, you don't say prospect, our patients, our clients, our customers, whatever word that you use, doing XYZ have been able to experience these types of results consistently. That's better language, as opposed to if you do that, you will get the result. That is not true because they may not get it. But if you use more strategic language around specifically probabilities, generalizations, you're not giving the other person advice, you're not giving them a directive, you're saying what our clients have seen undergoing this particular procedure is they've seen, depending on the situation, again, see, you see all these things. Our clients have seen in the past, depending on their particular situation, an average increase in some cases, or in a lot of cases of XYZ. And so as long as some regions, there's no reason why we couldn't produce XYZ result. Not for you, but we can produce that result in general. Now, it sounds like you're tricking this person, but you're not tricking them. You just have to be careful with your language. You can't say, otherwise you're going to spend the entire meeting basically telling them, hey, listen, if you do this, then you'll get this. If you don't do that, then because let me take a step back. You're going to spend the entire meeting essentially trying to convince the other person about what they will get, what they will receive, as opposed to what your customers and your clients have experienced. You cannot make claims about them. You don't know that. You don't know what's going to happen. Unless you're selling a physical product, it's a straight value exchange of you pay me money and you get this object. You can make claims about what the object does, but not about what the prospect will experience as a result of that interaction. Because their experience is basically out of your hands. There are certain things that you don't have control over. So you have to be very careful with the way you speak to people because you don't want to mislead them and you don't want to get their hopes up and their hopes are dashed. In fact, if you notice this in your sales calls or in your meetings, that when you're fully open and direct about the potential downsides or the risks or the side effects or whatever the case is, if you're open and the results that you can and cannot get for the person, they are very open to you and to your information and to your company and to whatever else you tell them. You've built so much credibility, especially on the front end, if you talk about things in an honest manner, that they actually see you as a trustworthy person. Now you can use that to manipulate them, but what kind of, let's not get down that road. Let's not go down that road. But you need to be careful with what kind of words that you use to make sure that you're essentially, as they say, going back to that old expression, you under-promise and over-deliver. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. I know this is a short video. There's not really much else on the top of my head today, and I'll leave it there. So hopefully that was helpful. Just remember that whatever language that you're using, you should not make the other person believe that they will achieve something if there is a probability that they will not, right? If there is a probability, a chance that they're not going to achieve the result that you're claiming, then you can't use language that presupposes that they will get the thing, even if they do all the steps. You can talk about what your previous clients have done, what your customers have done, what they are doing, what kind of results typically that they can expect if they do X, Y, Z, but you can't talk about the specific person that you're talking to. You can't make claims about them because you have no experience with them. They're still a prospect, they're not a client. So keep that in mind. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.